Hey everyone, welcome to Land of Windmills YouTube channel. I've got some important news for all the highly skilled migrants and international professionals in the Netherlands, or those thinking about moving here. Recently, the Dutch government has made some changes to immigration rules, and it's going to impact quite a few people, especially those working through payroll companies. So let's dive in and unpack what's happening. Alright, so here's the scoop. The Dutch Minister of Asylum and Migration has decided to tighten the rules for people who are hired via payroll companies. Now, if you're wondering what that means, payroll companies are basically intermediaries. They act as your official employer on paper, handling your salary, taxes, and HR stuff, but you're actually working for a different company. But here's the thing. Under these new rules, a payroll company can't just sponsor highly skilled migrants as they did before. Moving forward, they'll only be able to sponsor someone if the company you're actually working for, what they call the de facto employer, has submitted an application to become a recognized sponsor, or if it's an innovative startup. If that's not the case, they won't qualify. So, why is the government making these changes? Well, it seems like they're trying to tighten the reins on the system to ensure that it's not being abused. The Dutch authorities want to make sure that only companies who genuinely need international talent and are willing to take on the responsibilities of a recognized sponsor can hire from abroad. It's really about creating more accountability. This shift is part of a broader push to strengthen the quality of the highly skilled migrant program. And let's be honest, there have been cases where companies have used payroll firms to bypass certain regulations. This policy change is likely an effort to close that loophole. Okay, so let's talk about who's going to be affected by this. If you're currently working in the Netherlands under a payroll company, your work permit will now be valid for only 2 years. And here's the kicker, it won't be renewable after that. That's a pretty big change because it means that if you're here on one of these permits, you've essentially got a 2-year window to figure out what's next. Now, they haven't specified exactly when these changes are going to take effect, but usually with policies like this, there's a bit of a lead time. So if you're in this situation, keep an eye out for official updates. Let's address the big question. What does this mean if you're already here on a permit through a payroll company? Well, unfortunately, it means you might need to start planning ahead. If your permit is coming up for renewal, you may need to look for a new employer who can sponsor you directly or explore other visa options, like the European Blue Card. And speaking of the Blue Card, that might actually become a more popular route now because it offers more long-term stability across the EU. So, if you're thinking about your future in the Netherlands, this could be a good time to explore your options. I know this sounds like it's getting harder for non-EU nationals to settle down here. And honestly, it kind of is. With these changes, it's going to be more challenging to secure long-term residency through payroll companies, which have been a popular option for a lot of expats. But don't get discouraged. It's definitely still possible to move here and build a life. You might just have to go about it a bit differently than before. The key here is to stay informed and to plan ahead. So, what's the takeaway here? If you're currently in the Netherlands on a payroll-sponsored permit, or if you were planning to move here using that route, it's time to explore other options. Whether that's a direct employer sponsorship, the Blue Card, or even just making sure your employer is recognized by the Dutch authorities, you've got to be proactive. And that's it for today's update. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it helpful. And as always, stay tuned for more updates on living and working in the Netherlands. Until next time, take care.